Welcome, Captain Robb and Tom. Welcome to Doomcock's destroyer, the USS Doomcock.
USS Doomcock? Like ourselves much, do we?
Like breathing much, do we?
USS Doomcock it is.
Excellent. Now, tell Doomcock why you've sought out my flagship. How the hell did you even know where I was?
Harvey Cthulhu told us. He even drew us a map.
That little bastard drew a crude dotted line right through my defenses, which are not configured against anything as crude as a dotted line.
Isn't that always the case?
They used the dotted line in Star Wars. You know, the diagram, the shot going down in the thermal exhaust port, didn't they?
Sure did. And Wile E. Coyote on the blueprints?
Dotted lines are a bitch.
Enough about the cinematic history of dotted lines. Tell me why you've come, and quickly.
We need your help dealing with a common foe.
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, we're gonna take it down. And do anything it takes to take it down.
Admiral Andre. You believe it will be that easy?
We know Andre keeps making us review Star Trek Discovery. With him out of the way, we wouldn't have to suffer through that garbage anymore.
We'd be free to enjoy more pleasurable pursuits.
Like root canals.
Or colonoscopy.
Fools! Andre is at the heart of more than you know.
Tell us what you know, Dread Overlord.
Andre is out there operating without any decent restraint, totally beyond the pale of any acceptable human conduct.
How do we stop him?
Can it be done?
This goes deeper than Star Trek Discovery, that's all I can say. But I have anticipated your request, and I have a solution.
What is this? A squirt gun?
We'll be dead! What the fuck?
Silence, you fools! Do you take me for an asshole?
Well, no?
Trust Doomcock. Aim the squirt gun at his face and fire. Do that, and all will be revealed.
Captain, incoming message.
Intruder alert on Deck 8. Enter authorization code. Command functions are offline. Automatic defense procedures initiated. Diagnostic complete. Sensors are functioning normally.
Open hailing frequencies, how you doing everybody? Welcome to another episode of Captain Robb's Trek Logs. I am of course your narrator supreme, Captain Robb. With us as always is Lieutenant Commander Tom Connors.
Aye, Captain.
Fresh off assignment is Commander Wren.
Glad to be back.
Yes, and joining us, actually we have a special treat for you. Joining us via encrypted subspace transmission is the Overlord himself, the one, the only, Dictor Van Doomcock.
Greetings, Captain Robb, Tom, and Wren. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am one pissed-off camper today.
Understandably so, Exalted One.
I watched 3 of these fucking things to catch up with you guys so that I could be here today, so you are welcome.
Well, we're sorry we had to subject you to that kind of thing.
I feel like we owe you 3 hours of your life back.
No, like 9, 10. I had to pause it and keep running to the bathroom.
Because time seems to move more slowly when you're watching STD, doesn't it?
It's like being in that mushroom dimension where fuckhead, what's his name? Stamens. Stamens, as I call him. I like to call him a plant part because it is condescending.
Well, we'll get to more of that in a moment. So anyway, we got a jam-packed show for you guys here. We're gonna recap episodes 11 and 12 of STD, this disease of the brain, as our esteemed Exalted Overlord calls it, refers to it. Let's just dive right in, okay?
We are the afflicted.
Why not? Let's just jump right in there.
This is no longer a review show. This is actually now a support group, I have to think.
Kind of is, isn't it?
It is.
Yes, I'm glad I'm not alone.
You're not.
Hello, my name is Doomcock, and I am a waterholic.
Hi, Doomcock.
Hello.
Okay, let's catch up to where we missed. Episode 11, The Wolf Inside.
STD is not just a disease of the mind, you know.
It's also a disease of the genitals as well.
Well, you know, when you gotta go, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna kick it off by breaking down episode 11, The Wolf Inside. Okay, this so trite. So it's such. Okay, well, this episode it opens with Michael Burnham, Seneca Martin Green. She's musing on her current predicament. She's stranded in the alternate universe, pretending to be a sociopathic captain of the ISS Shinju. Ooh. It just keeps on getting...
Dun, dun, dun! Another big non-reveal.
Isn't that a kind of a dog? A Shinzu, cute little dog?
So anyway, she's captaining the Shinju for the Terran Empire to gather top secret intelligence on how the Discovery can get back home to their universe that they call the Prime Timeline, but we all know it's not. Burnham is asked to destroy a rebel base on the planet Harlak. A strange alliance of aliens. You got Vulcans, you got Andorians, Klingons, Tellarites. You know, actually, they did do a pretty good job with the Andorians.
Yeah, that wasn't bad.
Not as attractive as our resident Andorian, though, Ren. So
they seem to be
They
like
tried, though.
They tried.
Yeah, they seem to be like the least changed thus far.
Yeah, you know,
Other than Vulcans.
How do you screw up a blue guy with antennas, you know? I mean, how do you screw that up? It's got he's got antennas, you know. What are you gonna do?
So the Klingon leader, Firewolf, it turns out to be... Who's Firewolf, guys?
An Indian?
Fucking Vok.
Vok. And it turns out that to go on this mission, they not only had Mikey Spock, but they also had Ash Tyler. And upon seeing Vok, he has another dose of PSTD. Oh, God.
PSTD.
PSTD, see? We were right in there.
That was crafty.
Post Star Trek.
Oh my God. I hated all these non-reveals that they kept doing, where it's like, look how shocked you should be, but aren't.
Oh, thank you.
We'll get to all that. Tell us what else happened.
So
Rob.
anyway, Burnham doesn't kill the rebels, but she beams down to the planet, and they allow the rebels to escape. She promises to only destroy the infrastructure while the rebels evacuate. Vulcan invokes the name of the deity Kalis while in negotiations, and that sets Tyler off, and he begins fighting.
I'm sorry, don't you mean Kayla?
Kalis. I got
I hear Kayla sells good shoes cheap.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
They got BOGO sales?
That is his main claim to fame in the Prime Universe, where he doesn't really exist because he's a silly piece of shit.
Hey, we got BOGO Vok in this episode.
Yes.
It's just so...
The only 2-for-1 I really don't want.
So anyway, where did I leave off?
Vocal.
Kalis, yes. So anyway, Ash Tyler begins fighting with the Klingons. Moment after, Burnham gets the rebels to trust them. To the rebels' credit, though, they figure out that Tyler had a crazy moment, and they have to trust Burnham anyway. I keep forgetting to call her Mikey Spock. So anyway, the two beam back to Discovery. They have a private conversation. Tyler admits his human body and mind have been melded into a real universe Klingon, and that Klingon is the albino Vok. Like we didn't see this coming.
Your reading this doesn't make it sound any better.
No.
It doesn't improve.
It sounds even more fucking stupid reading it.
It sounds like a fucking cereal box.
I've found that every time I finish a review, I realize I hate the episode more than when I started, because when you lay it all out there, it's so much worse.
Yes, upon reflection, it just gets dumber and dumber in a spiral of stupid.
You know, we talked about this stuff months ago. We predicted all this shit, down to every last little thing that's happened thus far. And I'd almost sit here and say we could stroke our egos a little bit, but we can't because the shit was so poorly written, a 5-year-old could have figured it out. So we can't really take any credit for that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't figure out the Lorca Mirror Universe thing. I must
Oh,
only
we
be a
did.
4-year-old.
Yeah, we had it. we had an inkling that he was from the mirror universe just because they kept showing the reflections, the foreshadowing.
See, I think you guys pay way more attention when you watch this show than I do to pick up on subtle things, because I'm just like hate watching it with such a passion that I don't care. Usually I'm like the nitpicking nerd, and with this show, I just don't care.
Yeah. Well, anyway, like we were saying, Tyler/Vok got triggered because he saw the alternate universe Vok face to face.
And this is literally an accurate use of the word triggered.
Yes, it is.
He's the Manchurian Candidork.
See, this is
Just
why.
the stupidest fucking crap I've ever seen. I just have to make up stuff to engage myself during it. I just talk back to the screen like a goddamn idiot.
It's almost like the Rocky Horror Picture Show, really, at this point. It really is.
Yes, only not fun.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, sir, can you not hear your reactions from the episodes? Did you not record those for your Patreon users?
Oh yes, I did. I just turn on the damn tape recorder and I just start going, and I drink Johnny Walker, and I think after 2 of the 9 during a commercial break I sang Danny Boy. I did drunkenly sang Danny Boy.
Did you beg your dog to kill you, or Harvey to kill you, I mean?
No, he would. He doesn't understand sarcasm. It's like, if I turn off that field, that's it. He's gone. Woo, he's gone. So, no, I have not. But could I just say something here? The opening of the fucking episode. Mikey Spock is lying in bed, right? And as she shifts restlessly, she says, "I can't rest. Not really." And then as she opens her eyes, she says, "My eyes open." And I get out of bed feeling scared. And it's like, in the olden days, back when real Star Trek was on, they used to have these things called actors. And what the actors would do is they would actually show you what was happening rather than have to tell you, like, I opened my eyes and my eyes open.
And as we'll see, this becomes a motif going forward as well. Idiocracy.
I remember when Star Trek had writers.
But yes.
Or writers that actually knew Star Trek. Continue with the long-ass synopsis of this shit show.
Tyler Vok admits he killed Dr. Cole. I'm going to just call him Tyler Vok from now on. Because we're just going to... Tyler Vok.
Tyler Vok and Mikey Spock. See, it rhymes.
Tyler Vok and Mikey Spock.
Sitting in tree. K-I-S-S-I-N-G.
First comes love, then comes brain damage. Never mind, sorry.
So Tyler Vok, he admits to killing Dr. Culber in the previous episode. Then he tries to kill Mikey Spock. But alternative universe crewmates aboard the Shinju break into a room and haul him away. The first time we've actually seen any fucking security on this thing.
And then they think that Stamets is the one who kills Culver in the first place, which is like, this has got to be the dumbest thing they've ever had in Star Trek. And this is talking about Discovery here.
I was so mad about that. Culber was one of the few characters I liked, and now even if they bring him back, I'm going to be mad about it. I'm going to be really mad about it.
But of course he comes back in a later episode, but we'll get there. Sorry, Rob. Continue.
Yeah, well, anyway, the Klingon revelation, no surprise to astute fans. Astute fans or a stupid fan? You'd have to be stupid not to see this coming.
If you are not reviewing this,
I didn't write these synopses, I'll tell you that.
Some other channel.
Most of them come from comicbook.com.
So
I'll give them credit.
So anyway, Mikey Spock, she's distraught, and she learns that this was a treat to watch.
Space.com or something. But anyway, sorry.
Yeah. And actually, according to comicbook.com is their
leading
the first thing. We've all been through awful breakups like that.
Like space.com or something like that. The other ones are from comicbook.com. I apologize, but anyway.
That's
I should have wrote it down.
They're trying to play it up like this is some kind of awful thing, but we all saw this coming. The one person who has trust issues gets betrayed. So anyway, she gets her temporary revenge. Mikey Spock gets her temporary revenge when the Shinju crew sentences Tyler Vok to death, and she personally beams him into space. And Culber appears to be really dead, and we see Cadet Sylvia Tilly as our good friend Dictor Van Doomcock says, "Bless her big boobied heart." And Lieutenant Saru
big boobin' heart
discussing, and actually, it's important to note that they have to try to get the information of how the USS Defiant got back to the Prime Universe. So when they beam Tyler Vach into space. They immediately beam him back aboard the Discovery, and when you know, they slipped the data disc on him.
I almost wish they had only beamed back the data disc, to be honest. I loved actually evil Tilly though. That was really fun watching her awkwardly try to pull that off. It kind of characterized Tilly even more for me. She's like one of the few little bright spots in this fucking show.
Well, and she gets a better deal, and I think it's the next episode when we get there. I'll bring that up.
But they were all wondering if there was a murderer loose on the ship, but it was Tyler Vach. Yeah, they're wondering if Stamets actually killed him. Like, no, Stamets is no condition to kill
that
anybody.
Mystery.
Yes.
Why make it a mystery?
Yes, exactly. The big mystery is, well, let's solve this. It's got to be the nexus of the most incompetence on the whole ship. So who's the guy that was a Klingon prisoner of war that Lorca promoted without knowing him? And who's the doctor that, didn't catch all these surgeries on the scans the first time he did it? And where's Mikey Spock, who kept his PTSD secret? And Tilly, yes, that's a nexus of fuck-up that must mean it's him.
They think it was Stamets who killed Dr. Culber, but it wasn't. And we find out later that in the TV Guide interview that Culber is going to return in some form.
You cannot bury my gaze and then also have a stupid plot like that in the same show. I'm so mad about it, you guys. I'm so mad. Like, why kill him if you're going to do this huge contrived nightmare shitstorm plot to get him back? Why? This show's already so bad. Why?
Because we got to have a time travel episode yet.
Yeah. At the end of the episode, Stamets meets his alternate universe counterpart in some sort of alien alternate universe. We finally get to see the Emperor of the evil Terran Empire. And who is it, guys?
Crouching tiger, hidden who gives a fuck?
Exactly.
God.
I think that's who it is.
Oh, God. So I talked about this in my review, but I find it so incredibly fucking improbable that there's no way that Burnham didn't already know who she is. Like, she's been researching the Mirror Universe. She's a high-ranking official in the Terran Empire. She has all of this military clout, and she's literally researching the Terran Empire as, like, the thing she is doing, and she never comes across the name of the Emperor. There's no pictures anywhere of the Emperor in all of her fucking research. Like, what bullshit?
They made it a point. They made it a point to say that there's no pictures of the Emperor, but that doesn't make any fucking sense because you want to.
It doesn't.
You want to put a face on the Empire. You want some like omnipresent.
Wouldn't her name at least even still
person.
be somewhere?
Yeah, her name absolutely would have come up somewhere. There has to be some kind of like bragging history of the Emperor or some shit. Like, oh my God.
Well, this episode is bad, but it gets even worse in the next one. But let's kind of just overall, was there anything that you guys liked?
I liked some of the stuff with Tilly and Saru, although it was really cut back. But it was kind of undermined by how silly and predictable a lot of the stuff with Stamets was. I did like Stamets interacting with Mirror Stamets. That was kind of funny. Anthony Rapp is really good as evil Stamets. And
but that's a little bit more in the next episode, isn't
yeah,
it?
again, there's only a little bit of it. There's like, God.
Yeah, like 2 seconds.
There's not a lot to like about that episode. There really isn't.
Doomcock?
No. I tell you, the worst part of this episode was, in fact, the same thing that is the worst part of every Star Trek Discovery episode is that it starts. And my favorite part is that it ends. But between those 2 points, there was not a goddamn thing in here that I liked at all, except, no, not even Tilly's wig. I like her kinky red hair better.
No.
Nah, I don't care.
Just, I keep reminding myself of the Waldorf and Statler bit. Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens. What? It ends. Oh!
Ba-ding boom.
But, oh my God. Oh boy, where do you start? Oh. Likes, non-applicable. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat for this episode. I agree. This has got to be one of the worst.
This was like the least memorable one, too.
Can I just want to bring up that this episode, Wolf Inside, it was directed by a guy named T.J. Scott. These are his directing credits: Gotham, Longmire, The Strain, Bates Motel. It was written by somebody named Lisa Randolph, who did something called Rain, Rush, Being Human, Hawthorne, The Shield, and Gilmore Girls. What the
Oh man, Gilmore Girls is my guilty pleasure, but it has nothing to do with Star Trek.
Holy shit, she wrote Gilmore Girls. Let's get this chick on a fucking episode right away.
I don't begrudge anybody for liking what they like because I like some stupid shit. I'll admit to that.
I will also admit that, like, Gilmore Girls is objectively a pretty cheesy show with, like, very little plot and relatively horrible characters when you actually think about it. I just love it because I love garbage TV.
Yeah.
But, like, why would you pick a writer from that show for Star Trek?
The Shield was outstanding, so on the basis of that, I mean, I don't know Gilmore Girls from Adam, but
right.
The Shield is one of the greatest television series ever made.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean,
I actually haven't watched it yet.
I don't know if we're done talking about this, but I just wanted to I want to skip ahead a little, just a tiny bit. The next episode, Vaulting Ambition, was directed by somebody named Hanelle Culpepper. She directed Criminal Minds, The Flash, Gotham, 10 Days in the Valley, and was written by a guy named Jordan Nardino, who wrote Quantico, Smash, GCB, Good Christian Bitches, 10 Things I Hate About You, Desperate Housewives.
The show or the movie? Because that's an important distinction.
The show.
Oh,
the TV
no.
show. Desperate Housewives and Gilmore Girls again. What is it with these guys getting Gilmore Girls writers?
Because somebody who's a producer on the show probably was a producer on Gilmore Girls. But let's put it this way. It doesn't matter. It could be, what was his name? Howard Mankiewicz, who wrote Citizen Kane, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He can write Citizen Kane, but I wouldn't trust him to write a Star Trek show.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane's a masterpiece. It doesn't mean he's meant to write something else that's not even close to it. And that's what the point we're getting to here. We're not trying to bash these people. We're not trying to bash their credits. We're bashing the people who hired these people to work on this show. Because obviously they had no chops to be working in a Star Trek show.
Well, clearly they don't like or care about Star Trek all that much.
I actually tweeted at this Jordan Nardino guy. I said, "What the fuck did I just watch?" like,
what did you do?
Exactly. Oh man, people were patting him on the back.
Anybody who has watched my critiques of Star Trek, my reviews, knows that I actually believe that the writers are hostile to Star Trek, actively hostile, trying to sneer at it, destroy it in every way they possibly can. I sincerely believe that. The Vulcan terrorists saying live peace, live long, the Vulcan salute as he blows up, the hateful way that Harry Mudd spat out that signature phrase, ever since you were boldly going where no man has gone before. It was like there was so much contempt in that I feel it's a theme that they actually hate this show.
Well, like what we said, the whole deconstruction trend that's been going on.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that they're like, oh, there's a deconstruction of Star Wars, so it doesn't matter that it's bad. It's a deconstruction of Star Trek, so it doesn't matter that it's bad. Maybe we liked it constructed, or if you're gonna deconstruct it, do it well. You have to do something well if you're going to do a deconstruction of it. Oh my god, I'm mad.
Lending to that, I've said this to Tom repeatedly. I've heard other people say this. Deconstruction of something only works when there's, and Tom, you've said this, when there's something to deconstruct and when you are trying to make a larger point. Deconstructing Watchmen works because what you are saying is, hey, if we make normal people superheroes, that would be the worst thing that would ever happen, and it would be a disaster. Deconstructing Star Trek is telling me is you think, hey man, what if we make everything like Watchmen or everything like Batman, everything dark and gritty? And as you said, Doomcock, has the light bulb been lost to antiquity in this universe? Everything is so underlit. I mean, what? I'm like,
that's funny. I was just gonna say that who forgot to pay the fucking light bill on this show?
Guys.
Well, they can't read. They eat books. They don't read them.
I thought when Lorca was off the ship, they might turn the lighting back up. Like I thought, oh, maybe it was because of Lorca's dumb light sensitivity from being an evil Mirror Universe bad guy. Maybe that's why. Oh, no? Okay. No, it's just bad. That's fine.
I'm sensitive to light. What the fuck's the difference? There's no light in any of these buildings in any universe. So, okay. Well, overall, okay. Let's wrap this one up and move on to the next one. Guys, overall impressions. We'll start with Ren. We'll start with you.
I mean, this episode, it was forgettable. It was probably one of the more mediocre episodes. And I'm saying mediocre for Star Trek Discovery, not mediocre in comparison to anything else. I feel like I need to stress that. And it was just weak. It was weak, and it felt like they were trying so hard to be sensationalistic and really reveal a bunch of things, and every single reveal was just like, oh wow, okay, cool. And
Right.
shocking.
Yeah, the reveals are pointless.
Yeah. Your Excellency, Doomcock?
Yes?
Your overall impressions.
Are you kidding? This is absolute shit. Now I'm gonna unleash for a second. There is not a goddamn thing about this episode that's any different than any of the other episodes. They're all stupid. They're all based around repellent characters that I not only don't care about, that I actively want to die every single episode. And so you see that this is a conundrum for the writers, because how can they place characters in jeopardy when I'm rooting for them to die? And so they don't have any strategy that will deal with Doomcock. Burnham is one of the worst characters ever in Star Trek. It's unbelievable. You could paint a Starfleet officer on a plank of plywood and it would have more depth.
God. Sonequa Martin Green tries so hard, too. It just hurts me because she's such a good actress, and you just see her trying so hard, and they give her nothing to work with. Nothing.
It is just unbearable. It is unbearably bad.
That's because they always have to point out she's the best at everything in every episode about every 5 minutes. Remember that.
Yeah. Solving whatever problem with the power of Deus Ex Machina, yeah.
That briefing, that scene where she crashes the meeting of all the aliens and tells them, like, corrects them on how to be alien. Like, she tells Sarek how to be a better Sarek, and she lectures Klingons on, how a Klingon warrior should have honor, and, she gives the Andorian pointers on antennas.
She's human-splaining!
And the Tellarite, she just...
Yes!
Human-splaining!
I don't know what the fuck.
Human-splaining.
It's just fucking ridiculous. It's like... she knows everything better than everybody, and if you ever met her, she would make you better. She would tell you how.
Well, this episode did have one significant thing. It was the longest opening sequence before the credits. 14 minutes.
Oh my god.
We're just prolonging our agony, that's all. So, like, you guys have said it all. I have nothing more to add other than this was a piece of shit on a stick. This was a veritable shit sundae with a cherry on top.
I actually needed your recap because I forgot everything about this episode as soon as I reviewed it. I was so done with it.
Well, it's because it's the setup for the next episode.
So
Where everything
you mean
happens.
the next, 2/3 of an episode?
A third of an episode, yeah.
Yeah. So, Tom, why don't you take us through the synopsis for this episode?
Oh, thank you so much.
Would you rather not?
All right, well, I guess that's not so bad, considering this is probably the least worst of all the ones.
I hated this one significantly less, and mercifully probably because it was short.
Episode 12 was called Vaulting Ambition. It starts out, a transport departs the ISS Shinzu, bringing Burnham and Lorca to the ISS Charon, the Emperor's ship. Saru managed to decrypt the information on USS Defiant. Most of it is redacted, but there is some data available on how the Defiant got to the Mirror Universe. Lorca believes more information will be available at the palace, where they are likely headed. Burnham gives Lorca something to numb his nerves when in the agonizer booth. Burnham is worried about facing Georgiou, though. On the Discovery at the same time, Tilly and Saru discuss Stamets' condition. His readouts are better and he's in a coma. And this is what I was talking about before. She basically figures out what all of us know in the 21st century. If the internet is not working, you unplug the router and plug it back in and it will work. But anyway, Saru is concerned with whatever is happening isn't happening fast enough. If Burnham and Lorca can't figure out where the Defiant is, then the Spore Drive may be their only way home. Saru is summoned to sickbay and leaves Tilly to fix Stamets.
Mycelial.
Inside the mycelial, how do you say this? Mycelial?
Mycelial. God.
Just the
I fucked it up every time in my last review. I kept calling it micellar, like my micellar water I used to take my makeup off, and then I was like, oh, That's what that word was. Oops.
The mushroom chamber, or as I called it actually, in a quote-unquote heaven. Stamets converses with the Mirror Universe self. Mirror Stamets explains who he is, shakes hands with Prime Stamets. They're transported to a recreation of USS Discovery. Mirror Stamets explains that he ended up here after an experiment went wrong in his universe. His physical body is also in a coma. He's been trying to reach out and contact Prime Stamets. Funny. Which why Prime Stamets has been seeing flashes of the Mirror Universe. Mirror Stamets wants Prime Stamets to navigate are you guys keeping up with this? Navigate them out. Something is corrupted in the network. Mirror Stamets gets swept up in before and was lost for days.
I think we
Oh man, they sure crammed
I know,
a lot
right?
into 30 fucking minutes.
They escape to engineering where Stamets believes he can give them a way out. On the palace ship, though, Burnham and Lorca are brought before the Emperor. Emperor offers any of these 3 Kaplan slaves to Burnham, and she hesitates and then chooses Saru. Lorca is brought before Georgiou. He remains defiant and refuses to bow. Georgiou strikes him and promises he will live a long life in the agonizer booths. He is then taken to the brig. Georgiou says she is glad Burnham didn't die chasing Lorca, and she promises everything will be as it was before, and refers to her as her daughter. Ooh. Tyler speaking Klingon, cursing at the humans and threatening to kill everyone. The doctors don't know how to treat a Klingon who is inside a human's body. Bigger suit. Tyler's personally reemerges for a moment and asks Saru to help him, and he begins screaming again. Lorca is placed in the agonizer booth, and Georgiou and Burnham dine on Kelpian for dinner.
What is with this
Supper,
fucking show and
whatever.
cannibalism?
Oh my God.
Well, I mean, all they do is cannibalize better Star Treks. That's all they've done the entire time, so it's a theme.
And actually, I have a point to make about that in a little bit. Actually, hold on.
Go ahead. I need a break.
The 2 Stametses actually talking to each other. It reminded me of a Next Generation episode, Tapestry, when Picard.
I love that
his
episode.
And Q is in the afterlife. Yeah, it was. It's, oh God, I'm begging to see that right now. You kidding me?
Oh, I'm totally gonna watch that as soon as we're done tonight. That is what I'm gonna do with my evening. I'm gonna get stoned and watch Picard because I need it.
Like I said, they just take plot points from different Star Trek episodes, but somehow they make them worse. How can you make this so bad?
I don't know. I think that this is actually a mirror universe, and what they are trying to do is perfect the agonizer booth by creating a show that they can show people in it to worsen their pain.
So this is actually Terran Empire propaganda against Starfleet, and that's what we're seeing because we are in fact living in the mirror universe.
Yes.
And that also explains Trump. Everything makes sense.
Remember, are you guys fans of Community? You guys are fans of Community.
Yes.
Remember, Abed, this is the darkest, most terrible timeline.
Oh.
Okay, so moving on then with the story. Georgiou, of course, and here's another one of those points where people don't really quite act the way they probably should, considering it wouldn't have took Georgiou long to figure out that this is not her Michael Burnham, but she still questions her to no end when she does try to explain that to her, but we'll get into that, I'm sure. She wants to know why Burnham left and why she was so hesitant to attack the rebels. Burnham concocts a story about Lorca having spies on board the Charon. Georgiou believes Burnham was conspiring with Lorca to overthrow her. Georgia calls for her guards to bring Burnham to the throne room for execution. Stamets.
Sounds like the world's worst law firm. Stamets. We only take mushroom-related cases. Only mushrooms.
Stamets try to map a way out of the network. Prime Stamets finds something affecting Mirror Stamets' arm. It's a side effect of being in the network for too long. Stamets catches a glimpse of Dr. Culber and follows him through the ship that they're supposedly whatever. Mirror Stamets warns him he'll get lost if he doesn't stay focused. Because Georgiou loves Burnham, though, and we keep bouncing back and forth just like in the episode, she says he will grant her the mercy of a quick death. Burnham tells Georgiou that she's not the Michael Burnham she knows, and she offers Prime Georgiou's old Starfleet dog tag with the Prime quantum signature as proof. Once she reads the quantum signature, the Emperor kills everyone in the room except for Burnham and one attendant.
God, I forgot about that scene. That was so dumb.
And here's another thing I want to say. Why didn't she use this fucking weapon when she was surrounded by people at the end with Lorca?
She could only use it once because it has to look cool. Never think about it again.
Yes.
I thought they were setting it up considering everybody's in a fucking circle again. But anyway, that would be
It was
clever.
low on batteries. Ran out. It's also a vibrator, kids. And, ran down.
The Emperor killed everyone, and so then we jump back to the Discovery, and Saru visits L'Rell, or L'Oreal as we like to call her, in the brig, and he tells L'Rell that Tyler thinks he's a Klingon. Maybe he just wants to identify as a Klingon. Why do they gotta question that? No, anyway.
That whole thing with her and Tyler and the way they handled that plot, and, of course she just fucking, okay, just kills the Vok personality, but it's gonna come back somehow. It's gonna be back. It's no dumb plot point is gonna end that easily in this show. You know it. And that makes me so mad because I just know we're going to get more of that crap. And they trick you into thinking they're mercifully done with it. You're like, okay, they got rid of this stupid Vok plotline that was obvious and stupid. Oh no, okay, no, it's going to be back. I know it's going to be back. It's it's the worst STD. It keeps coming back.
So anyway, Saru's trying to get L'Rell to help, but she says no, but Saru then tells her they're in a parallel universe and the war is over. L'Rell says that the real Ash Tyler was captured at the Battle of the Binary Stars. They harvested Tyler's DNA and grafted it onto Vok. Stamets chases Culber through the halls of the Discovery. He winds up in their quarters. Culber tells Stamets that he died. Georgiou can't see any reason to help Burnham and Discovery get back. Burnham knows Georgiou loves her. Georgiou believes in the ideas of the Federation represents the dangerous ideas that must be stifled, and Georgiou says that, okay, blah, blah, fucking blah.
Cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Just
Tilly figures out that if she unplugs and plugs Stamets back in, he'll work
Reboot
again,
his
and
modem,
he
yeah.
reboots. And he can get him back to the other universe, but they've got this whole thing going on where they're in the, they're stuck there and blah, blah, blah.
I'd forgotten, and now it's the bad kind of touching. Thank you.
We come to learn that the mirror universe Burnham was in love with Lorca for some fucking reason. And then let's get into this real quick. Lorca's big-ass convoluted fucking plan. This is what this entire show rests upon.
It's been building up to this. This is something they apparently foreshadowed and planned for an entire season, and this is how they...
I feel enriched.
Because basically we're told by the supervillain in his long soliloquy, and even Dr. Dictor Van Doomcock can tell me this was pretty stupid, right? As a supervillain.
It's ridiculous. So my impression was that Lorca couldn't bear to be away from Mikey Spock, and so he went into the other universe to find her and love her or something? Is that what it was?
He accidentally wound up in the mirror universe.
But he has a boner for Michael Burnham in all universes,
right,
because reasons.
He has a wood for wood.
Yeah. And because that she was close to Emperor Georgiou, and he would use her to get close to Georgiou so he can finally kill her.
And bad.
But it's not really her.
He's very crafty, you see, except when he's not.
And he can finally assume the throne that looks like it was designed by the same guy who did the Major League Baseball World Series trophy. Really. So.
Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? I thought it looked kind of like a pipe organ.
He assumes once he gets to it, figures out that he's in this mirror universe or whatever, that Stamets from this universe can continue the work that Stamets from the other universe started, and creates the Discovery mushroom ship so he can get back to the other universe with this Mikey Spock and storm the castle.
It just dawned on me, actually, that the whole Lorca plot point of him being captured so he can get close to that's the same plot as Skyfall. Really? It's the exact same plot as Skyfall.
He almost has to expect and anticipate to wind up in a mirror universe and then be able to figure out that all these things in the mirror universe are going to work out just perfectly for him to get back.
Yeah.
So
And I'm gonna get myself deliberately captured so I can get close to close to the big cheese so I can take her out. Even that's gonna cost me my own life. It's the same, and he gets shot in the back. He gets stabbed actually through the back, which is the same way.
Gets stabbed and then torched.
Yeah, which is the same way Daniel Craig killed Javier
Lord
Bardem
Kebab.
in Skyfall. It's the exact same fucking plot as Skyfall. My God, except Skyfall did it a hell of a lot better. And they stormed the houses.
And Skyfall was not great either. Like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Bond fan. I love Skyfall, but I didn't want to see it repeated point for point.
Because I actually do have one thing I did like in this episode, and then we can move on. I actually didn't mind Saru when he became captain.
Oh yeah, Saru actually.
Oh, I actually like Captain Saru.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd get past all of their dumb crap and just go exploring and have Captain Saru be their dude. That'd be nice. That'd be cool.
And Rob and I are pretty sure that they're watching because all of a sudden the last few episodes, did you notice that every crew member not only gets called out by name, they got fucking lines.
Oh yeah, they've got lines. Yeah, they got lines. Actually, you know what? Point I want to bring up Emperor Georgiou's title, her official title.
Oh my God.
The mother of the fatherland, overlord of Vulcan, dominus of Kronos, Regina Andor, Emperor Philippa Georgiou Augustus Eoponius Centaurus. Who wrote? Did they have Mel Brooks write that for them?
What is she, a fucking Power Ranger villain?
You know, actually, okay, so this was, in my opinion, one of the less worse episodes, and I think that's because of how short it was, but it still, when you lay it all out, just seems so ridiculous. There were strong elements because Michelle Yeoh is a really good actress, and Sonequa Martin Green is a good actress, so even with the piss-poor writing, the scenes between them at least had something that made me interested. I wanted to know what was happening next, even though I just knew the next episode was going to ruin absolutely anything I liked about this one. Because that's how it goes. Every time I think, oh, this isn't so bad, maybe this show will get better, it immediately gets worse again. It's like they want to hurt me, I swear. And I liked the scene between Stamets and Culber where he was talking about their favorite time of the day together, and, you know, when he asked if he told him he loved him enough. And it was a character moment, which this show just has none of ever. And the rare times we get them, you almost start to think, oh, these could be likable characters. I might actually be invested in the story someday. And of course, then they immediately ruin it. But this episode, it had so many moments that were close to okay, and
I've never felt even that was remotely okay. Never
I feel like it's almost like Stockholm Syndrome. Like, I'm starting to identify with my captors, but it's not complete. I keep getting angry again, so.
Doomcock wants to point out one more flaw with Lorca's grand plan that you guys failed to mention.
Yes, sir. We of course need your input on this since you are the authority.
Yes, on evil plans. Well, any evil plan that involves, basically, it would have ended if he hadn't had a guy in there, in his agonizer room, dumb enough to buy the old I passed out in the agonizer and
Oh
I'm in
my
trouble,
God, yeah.
ploy so that he would actually lower it without any guards, without checking on they must have sensors in there, right? To like make sure that people aren't having coronaries. That defeats the whole agonizer, premise. But no, he doesn't check it. He lowers the thing, and what does Lorca do? He jumps him! So, but it dies right there. His whole grand plan, that's been the whole season, if he doesn't get an idiot in there that doesn't check the sensors.
But in the Discovery universe, there are a lot of idiots.
Yes.
So.
The recruiting standards are pretty low in this universe.
In any of those universes, Star Trek Discovery, the entirety is a disease of the mind, as I say.
This show makes me long for the sweet release of death.
Okay, so
So I think who else wants to chime in? We've pretty much gone over our likes and dislikes already. Who else wants to chime in at this point? So, Tom, your input.
It's the one thing I gotta point out is how pretentiously bad all the callbacks are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And cringeworthy they come off and forced into these scenes, and there's a few of them in these episodes.
Yes. One of the things I'm going to point out in my review is that when he drops the whole Organia thing, he talks about Organia in the previous episode. he says, okay, we're going to that star base that's just, a hop, skip, and a jump away from Organia, right?
Right.
Well, that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. Because the whole plot of Errand of Mercy was that when they're going to war with the Klingons, somebody's going to need Organia as a base, right?
Yes.
That was the whole thing. So they go to try to convince them to let the Federation have a base there instead of the Klingons. But that kind of falls all to shit if they've already got a space station there and have had a hop, skip, and a jump away from fucking Organia for 10 fucking years! You stupid fucks!
Correct you are, your exaltedness.
Oh no.
God damn, it's just, see, that's the thing. I really watch these goddamn episodes, and I have like pages and pages and pages of notes. It literally takes me about 2.5 hours to get through a goddamn episode and write as
Wow.
crap. And I
just
am
do
like,
not care enough to
every
do that.
logical flaw I am dedicated to capturing because it is an assault on not merely us as viewers or Trek fans, but as sentient beings.
This
That's
onslaught must
why
be stopped.
none of this is good to me. I will end
That
it
is
right
valid.
That's understandable.
I think that's just as good a part to leave off. So.
I think
I
so.
feel like someone needs to give Doomcock a hug. He's been throwing himself on the sword
Welcome
for all
to the
of
support
us.
group, sir.
I have my friend Johnny Walker. He watched it with me. He talked to me this last episode. We had a dialogue. He has a Scottish accent.
Is Harvey lucky enough not to have to watch this shit with you?
Yes. Harvey's there, but he's just silent. He gets sullen. He gets very sullen.
I'm sure he can just watch something in some other dimension if he wants to. But yeah, I think Captain, I think it's time we close the log.
Let's close transmission on this part of the Trek log for now. Be back with us really soon. We're going to be covering episode 13. I am going to be returning. We are going to suspend transmission for the time being. Commander Wren, Lieutenant Commander Tom Connors, and his exaltedness Dictor Van Doomcock via encrypted subspace transmission will be joining us. Thank you for tuning in, and we will catch you next time.
If you like this video, then please hit that subscribe button. Due to recent changes made by YouTube, we also encourage all of our subscribers, both new and old, to please hit that bell icon next to the subscribe button as well, so you will be notified when new videos are uploaded. Be sure to check back for news and analysis of the happenings and corporate politics behind the scenes of your favorite genre movies, as well as explorations of your favorite characters and their backgrounds and context here at Midnight's Edge.